For the past couple of weeks, the church has been given special attention to two of the most important weeks of the year, Holy Week and the Easter Octave. And now, as we move along in Easter time, we are able to once again recognize certain special saints whose reputation and whose witness are encouraging likewise to us. Today, April 21st, the Church honors a remarkable theologian, St. Anselm. He's listed as Archbishop of Canterbury, as Doctor of the Church, born in 1033 in Lombardy, northern Italy. Then he spent many decades in England, at the Normandy rather, at the Benedictine Abbey and Bec. And then for the latter part of his life, he was then named Archbishop of Canterbury. In 1082, while visiting England and being very happy in his role as abbot at the monastery in Normandy, he was compelled, however, to assume the role of Archbishop of Canterbury. It was a role which he showed his expertise and his concern for the church, and unfortunately he didn't get along too well with either of the reigning monarchs. The first one, William I, exiled him, and the Vatican and Pope insisted that he be allowed to return, came back for a few more years, and then the new reigning king, Henry I, likewise exiled him, in both cases to Normandy, and once again the Pope insisted that he be allowed to return because he was considered to be so capable and worthy. His place in history, however, owes particularly to his contribution as a theologian. Anselm defined theology as, quote, faith-seeking understanding, unquote, justifying the application of reason to the mystery of Christianity. A famous example was his, quote, proof, unquote, for the existence of God, namely, that than which nothing greater can be conceived. Another great work, Cur Deus Homo, in translation, Why God Became Human, explained why it was necessary that Christ our Redeemer combine his divinity with humanity. And here he, of course, stands out then for his examination of the atonement of Christ on the cross, which we have just acknowledged. Anselm was extremely influential for many centuries, and likewise in his effort to understand the social and political values of his time. At that time, when he was living, the code of honor, of feudal honor, was an important topic. And this background gives support to those who today struggle to understand the gospel in light of contemporary concerns. He was also distinguished by his tender personal character. No wonder then that the fine Benedictine school in Northeast Washington is called St. Anselm's Abbey School. But tomorrow, the 22nd, we celebrate as Earth Day. We have been doing this now for a few decades, but it was sort of interesting for me in looking at the prayers in the breviary for today, Feast of St. Anselm, an indication of how Anselm recognized that the earth has a spiritual as well as environmental, physical import in our lives. He writes in another one of his famous works, the Proslogion, "O God, let me know you and love you, so that I may find my joy in you. And if I cannot do so fully in this life, let me at least make some progress every day, until at last that knowledge, love, and joy come to me in all their plenitude. While I am here on earth, let me learn to know you better, so that in heaven I may know you fully. Let my love for you grow deeper here, so that there I may love you fully. On earth, then, I shall have great joy and hope, and in heaven, complete joy in the fulfillment of my hope." I think these are beautiful words as we prepare to celebrate and recognize the importance of the earth in our lives, not just simply physically, but also spiritually. St. Anselm, pray for us.